as a high-achieving entrepreneur, why is it so hard to get exercise and fitness into your schedule?
This is such a common problem and we see it all the time. Well, today we've got an amazing solution for you. So if you found that you either can't get the exercise that you need in your schedule, or you get it in there and then everything else gets in the way that you can't show up to the exercise class, you can't get it fit in, and you can't keep it consistent, we have the way that you can do it this year, create a sustainable habit in your life to make fitness a part of your life on a regular basis for the rest of your life. Welcome to the Intentional Leadership Podcast. On today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get fitness into your calendar as a regular part of your life.
That's hard to do. We have work, we have kids, we have families, we have doctor's appointments. I don't have time for that.
And you know what? When we were just doing year-end reflections with our group, and you can do this any time of the year, but it's so important as entrepreneurs to take time to pause and actually look back at your life. And so many talked about the problem with health and that being a number one goal for them to exercise more, for them to lose weight. And, you know, this is typical. You make a New Year's resolution, you set a new goal any time of the year that you're going to get your fitness in. You're going to get your exercise routine, and you know you need to do more strength. You know you need to walk every day or get back to that running. And it's so hard to get started, and it's so hard to keep it consistent. So we have some ways that we have created health as a top priority and fitness in our life. And we've created a sustainable habit that it's no longer something that we have to think about. It's something that's just part of our everyday, and we want to show you how.
Right. Well, what started some of this conversation was I went back and looked at my manila folder because we were reviewing our goals, and I have calendars from 2019 for marathon running.
Oh, wow.
And
that's awesome.
2019, 2020. And so often they're checked off. And then into May, it slides. And so for me, summer is actually a hard time for me to work out, which is crazy because I probably have more time. Well, we certainly have more daylight.
Right.
Whether we have more time or not, probably as well. But so I found that looking back, that was my biggest challenge is, the summertime. And maybe I want to just hang out with friends and family instead. So I think that scheduling it is important, is why I bring the calendar up.
Right, exactly. Well, and in my program that we talk about intentional calendaring, and what that really means in a nutshell is rather than just letting your calendar get filled up with what everybody else is putting on your calendar, even what your work and your clients and your assistant and other people are putting on your calendar, but to really be intentional about what's most important to you and putting that on the calendar first. And if you want to know more about this, check out my Success Life program, where we talk about how to take out your calendar for a year in advance and really create intention around it to make sure you're spending time on the most important things. So talking about health, that should be a top priority.
Right.
That's incredibly important. It needs to be part of your life. And we had a colleague that we were talking to in an interview who said, for the rest of your life, your head is going to be walking around on top of your body. So you have to take care of that body. So it doesn't matter how successful you are at work or even how successful you are in your family relationships or things. If you want to be around for those kids and grandkids and great grandkids, if you want to create this legacy of a lifetime, you have to take care of your health. You have to be first.
Right. And so taking care of that body is critical.
Right.
And getting up and moving is a big component of that. So one of the things, some people can run, some people can walk, some people, really it's best just to start on a rower or a bike. But I remember one of the things Zig Ziglar used to say is, no matter, I got up and I needed to exercise and I couldn't, so I walked to the mailbox and I walked back. And I did that a few days, and pretty soon I walked a whole half a block and I walked back, and pretty soon I was walking around the block, and pretty soon I was walking a couple of miles. So that's the key, is just starting and just going as far as you can without hurting yourself.
Right. So let's talk about the calendar piece of it. So the first step to really getting it in your calendar is stopping and putting it in your calendar. So if you look out, let's just say you're going to look out at the month ahead and look at all of the responsibilities that you have in my planner, we talk about how you can look out at the month and you have your monthly intentions and your monthly priorities and your most important dates. So what is that most important priority, you, and how are you going to get that in your calendar? So as you're calendaring out your month, as you're looking out at your month or your quarter or your year, however it works best for you, make sure that your fitness and your exercise is a part of it. So don't shove it in. Put it in first. This is the area of your life that is super important for you to be taking care of your health and your fitness. So where in the calendar is it best for you? Now, there's different ways that you can look at this. So sometimes you are one that you want to get up in the morning and you want to exercise, and that's a good time for you. Some of you may absolutely hate getting up in the morning and exercising. So try to find a time in the day that, number one, you think your body will be attracted to that, so that over time, that's going to be a good time for you. And if you follow circadian rhythms, typically that midday is when your energy is the highest. That would be ideal if all of us could work out when the sun was highest in the sky. Well, that doesn't always work out. So what is your body telling you? I know I talk a lot about listening to your body, but what is it best for you with that workout time? For some, it's first thing in the morning. For me, that has never been sustainable for me. When I've tried to get out and work out in the morning, I just haven't really had the energy for it. And I found that for me, that mid or later day, that after work is really a great time. It's the separation between my work and my home activities. And that's really worked for me. So look at what time of day you want to be able to schedule it. And then secondly, when it's going to work. So one way or another, you have to get in your calendar. Do you have any thoughts on that piece?
Well, one of the things that I thought of was I just recently looked at my Aura ring and it told me I work out at 4 o'clock most of the time.
How funny. So do I.
Yeah, shocking. But that's just, that's our time of day apparently to work out. Yeah. So we get up, we go to work, and at 4 o'clock, it's before dinner, we get our workout in. Mm-hmm. And for us, it's a walk, usually together.
Right.
Because then either run or lift weights, you lift weights or do whatever you're going to do separately. Mm-hmm. But at 4 o'clock, we go for a walk. So 4 o'clock was our most active over the last year. Mm-hmm. And so for us, that's great. Me, I work out a lot at night.
That's right.
You like to go watch TV or unwind. That does nothing for me. So I go to the gym and I work out.
Right.
And it doesn't, some people can do that. Some people can't because of the cortisol levels. For me, it doesn't bother me. I can still fall asleep just fine.
That's a good point. And back to the listening to your body. So I have tried to do workouts at night with you at times. We've got the open schedule. And so the evenings may be a time that works for you. But I found whenever I do any kind of high impact anything after dinner, that it affects my sleep. It winds me up all over again and I'm ready for another work day. So it definitely messes with my circadian rhythm and my ability to sleep at night. So for me, that just wasn't feasible. Right. Now doing a slow walk after dinner to help digest the food, and if you don't know this, it's doing a slow, some kind of movement after you've had a meal, even for 10 or 15 minutes, just helps that digestion process get started. So finding that time of day is really critical, and then getting it in your calendar.
And I think one of the biggest things to help us, because we travel a lot, is not just I'm going to put it in my calendar, but scheduling it months in advance, 6 months in advance, a year. But if we try to do it the week before, then we're shoving it in. But if we put it out there and then a meeting comes in, we can then adjust either the meeting or we can adjust the workout.
Right.
If we have to be on an airplane to get somewhere, we know that either we're going to be working out when we land or we're going to work out before we get there, or we're going to do pull-ups on the little things in the airplane and get yelled at. But it just depends on where we're at. And so I think it's really important to put it in the calendar no matter what, even if it has to be adjusted later on.
No, exactly. And I think something that's really helpful for people, and I know that it's been helpful for me in the past when I just needed to get kind of that kick in the butt to get in a regular routine again, because you're going to have these slumps. Everybody does. Life just gets in the way, that you really need to sign up for something new. So if you need to sign up for that gym membership or that class, something that's going to get you motivated and excited to work out again, and something that it's going to be there, something that you have to pay money for, so you're going to show up. And then however that is, it's going to make that happen. Now, I know a lot of people will get gym memberships at the beginning of the year and they just won't go. So what is that amount of money that you need to invest where it's going to be important enough to you that you're going to get your butt over there and you're going to work out? So what is that going to take? If you set up a class, are you going to go to the class? Can you rely on yourself to go to the class? Or can you look at your past history and think, you know what, I've done this before, I'm going to fall into the same routine. So look now at what's going to get in your way. If you say to me, hey, Janelle, I put it in my calendar before, that doesn't work. Well, let's talk about why, when you put something in your calendar, why you don't do it.
It's not a priority. Many times, that's really what it comes down to. I know that there was somebody that she would run every morning. There was a group of ladies that they ran every morning, no matter what the weather, time of year, at 5 o'clock every morning. And it was in all of their calendars. And don't try to schedule a breakfast with any of them. They're busy running together. There are, 6 of them probably?
Right. Okay.
And so making it a priority. And then it was fun. And they had each other holding, to hold each other accountable.
Right. And I think that's a big piece. I think in order to be successful with this, getting it in your calendar, and then you have to have some accountability. So if it's in your work calendar, for me, I have everything in one calendar: work, home, life, all of it, everything, my doctor's appointments, my assistant knows what those things are. I mean, we have it all out there. And so that way there isn't anything that can get in the way because everything is in the same calendar. So let somebody know. So tell your assistant that you cannot schedule work meetings over this workout class. I need to be there. And for us, I send you an invite to whatever I'm doing, any type of thing. Even if he's not going with me, he knows that I have that and he'll remind me and things like that. So you've got to have an accountability partner. And if as you're listening to us talking, you're going, okay, well, I've done that, that's still not work, then I think that you need to get a coach because
Up the ante.
Yeah, up the ante, pay more money. Like we said, pay it till it hurts, because that's going to get you off the couch. It's going to get you away from your work, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I don't think some people, a very small portion, can go onto Google, go into chat, print out some sort of routine, and then consistently hold themselves accountable. A very small, even discipline like you.
Right.
It's hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
However, then there's the next level of, well, I'm going to go spend $12 a month on an app and it's going to tell me what to do. It's only $12. Then the next level is that gym membership. And, you get the gym membership that adds the sauna and a few other bonuses, and it's $50, $100 a month, maybe $250 a month. And then you're still going, well, that's not go get a coach.
Right.
Pay that person $200 an hour, then find out if you show up or not. That's going to change. To me, that's I'll skip the gym, but I'm not going to skip out on somebody that I'm paying that kind of money to.
Right. It's the game changer. It really is. And we're part of a health challenge right now where we are having some very professional, kick-ass coaches that are...
will kick your ass if you don't do it. They're really big and strong.
And no, they are not. They are the most wonderful, wonderful coaches. So Whitney Jones and Ashley Garcia are the coaches that we're using right now. And they have been so fabulous, so supportive, so encouraging. But yet they put together a workout routine, and then we have to check in on a weekly basis, and we need to let them know exactly what we've done, and they can see it all. So get the accountability that you need. That's the way to have it in the calendar. So
I disagree. They're still mean because I have to work out 7 days a week. You work out 4. That's not fair.
Okay. So there's a disclaimer here is when we started this fitness challenge, we needed to talk about our goals. And your goal was to run another marathon. I haven't run a marathon. I will gladly be your cheerleader in the marathon, but I don't need to run a marathon. And I'm glad you've run so many and you want to run all of the big ones in the world. And I think that's really exciting. But my goal was just to be in the best shape of my life and to have incredible energy, to sleep well, and to feel really vibrant and strong. So those are my key goals. And so that for me was four main workouts a week, and then that I'm accountable to. Plus, of course, we do cardio every day. So I said already that we are doing at least 6 days a week. We have regularly done the cardio piece. So this is just pushing us out of our comfort zone a little bit, having that accountability. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about another way that you can create this sustainable habit of fitness. And that is to really shake up your workout routine. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to create a habit that gets ingrained because I do it over and over again. And that's not too hard for me. I can be really disciplined about that. But one mistake that I've made that I don't want you to make is getting stuck in a rut with your exercise routine by doing the same thing all the time. So I love walking outside. I love the treadmill. That's my go-to because when I'm on the treadmill, I can do other things, right? I can do emails, I can have phone calls, walking meetings, those kind of things. But yet, one of the things that we've learned through the coaches that we've worked with is that your body adapts to different workout routines. And so from time to time, in order to really be your best self and really encourage those muscles to break down and grow and to get stronger, you've got to do different things. So in this challenge, I'm doing some things I haven't done before. So you may think this is funny, but I had never done a deadlift. And when that was part of my exercise regimen is to do deadlifts, I had to be shown how to do this and how to do this.
You weren't alone, at least.
No, I wasn't alone. No, there was other people in the group that went, I need to know too how to do this. And with dumbbells, we're doing this with dumbbells. And so that was one. And then the other was, you've been a big rower and I haven't been. And that was on my training regimen too. So I'm doing the rows and hey, this is kind of fun.
And the bike. And you have never been on the bike and you don't like the bike and you're still doing it occasionally once in a while.
Right. That's so true.
So good for you.
So that's true. So I've gotten off the treadmill and on the bike, doing the rowing machine and doing some other things. And so it's shaken up my rhythm a little bit and it's actually been fun. So how about you? What are some things that have been different for you that maybe has been out of your comfort zone a little bit?
Well, from their workouts, not a lot because it's pretty, when you're training for a marathon, it's fairly consistent. But what I found that might be tweaked a little bit, and might be because they're huge monster, they're really strong people, is I have to work out 4 days a week and run 3. And usually I've probably done the reverse. Usually I've run 4 and only worked out 3. Lifted weights for 3. So that's probably the challenge for me. The rower I still, that I still use, the bike I use, the treadmill that's all part of it. But there are no new there's nothing new for me. It's just the added weight component, which I think will ultimately make me faster because I'm running stronger and my muscles are not going to break down. And so therefore I should be able to run a little bit faster. So I think it's a great idea. I love it. I'm having fun with it.
Right.
And I still get my 6 hours of cardio in a week, plus our walks or whatever else we do. So it's not that I'm not building cardio base, but we're building muscle base first.
Right.
And so that's the big challenge. And something that, mixing it up, we should just get an X3 and then we could have that as a new tool in our toolbox. I like to mix it up with new things, new gadgets.
Yes, this guy is continually adding things to our gym.
But I'm always working out, so it's important to mix it up.
All right.
You just said it. It's on video now. It's true.
So let's buy the next thing that's out there. So anyway, but what about if you don't have the things? I think that we should talk about that piece because I know one of the challenges that we hear from many people is like, well, I don't have a gym membership and the closest gym is, half an hour away. That just isn't convenient. I work from home. I've got kids. So what are the things that you can do so that you get rid of the excuses? I think that's the biggest thing that we want to help you with today is we want to help you get rid of the excuses to keeping consistent workout as part of your daily routine.
Yeah, somebody I talked to just yesterday, it's -24. So even if they did, which they do, have a gym routine, they can't get to the gym. It's too cold.
Meaning
it's closed.
Winter cold
Yeah, the
outside.
winter cold.
Yep.
And so what they're doing, and we talked about, was the fact they're going to do calisthenics. Well, what is that? Yeah, exactly. It's like 3rd grade gym class. They're going to do sit-ups, crunches, push-ups, and they are also going to do burpees. And that'll give them a full body workout, plenty. They can do it anywhere in their house.
Right.
They can do it with their kids are going to think it's fun. They have small kids. The kids are probably going to join them. And it'll be a great thing that they can teach the kids, and they'll do it as a family.
Right.
So without anything, those are 3-4 different things you can do anytime, anywhere. No excuses.
And talking about excuses, why don't you list what your excuses are? Because I think if you decide what your excuses are now, then you can navigate what's typically gotten in your way, what have been the excuses, or, some of these are justifiable, some are not. They're truly an excuse. So what are those things, and then what can you do about it? So let's talk about that for a minute. What's a typical excuse of why one of our entrepreneurs says, I can't do this and it's not going to happen?
I don't have time.
I don't have time. So what's the solution to that?
Schedule it.
Right.
Make sure it's in the calendar.
I think that the excuse with that being said is you have to reframe it, that this is such a top priority in your life. And I don't care how that has to happen, right? It's got to be, I don't have time for this other thing because my health comes first. Yeah.
It hurts.
Right.
I mean, that's, for instance, you on the bike, it hurts. Well, you don't do it enough to make it not hurt.
Right.
Even if you're only on there for 5 minutes, it's not a most comfortable thing.
Right.
It hurts to walk and move from the couch to the mailbox. Well, it will for a while, but after a while, just slow progression.
Right.
It won't hurt as much, and then you can extend it. Just go to the point of, where it's uncomfortable without hurting.
Right. You don't want pain when you're working out, obviously. You don't want to be so sore you can't get out of bed and move, then you've pushed your body a little bit too hard. So again, back to listening to your body on that regard. Another thing that I'm thinking of is just kids. And this is a legitimate excuse that I don't have time because I have to go pick up my kids, because I have this with my kids. And I think the way that you can get around that is, and also help your kids, is begin to take them to the workout classes. I mean, there are wonderful daycare programs. I remember taking my kids when I went to the gym, and they loved it. They started looking forward to it because they got to play with some little friends. And then as the kids got older, they came to the gym with me. We did workouts, we did walks together. So make it a family event. Don't let that be an excuse. Go on a walk after work with your kids. If you've got babies, put them in the jog stroller. That's what we did. Wear them on your chest and in the little wraps. And if they're bigger kids, then they can start riding their bikes with you. The whole idea is the movement and making sure that it's happening and installing those good health habits, so it's just part of your life.
Right. I travel too much. That's one we hear.
Definitely.
And we're part of that.
Right.
It's hard.
Right.
And so I think one of the most important things is thinking ahead. Where are we going? When are we leaving? When are we going to get there? Is there a gym in the hotel that we're staying at or not?
Right.
And what do we do from here? And so do I need to work out before or after? We kind of mentioned that a second ago, but when you travel, you need to figure out, okay, what is it that we need to do? And maybe I need to bring something. We have bands with us that we use, these little plastic bands, and helps us with the strength workout.
Yeah, definitely. And just to piggyback on that, one of my colleagues, when he would come to visit us and I would set up his hotel for him, he was somebody who sat on my board, he would say, I need a hotel with a gym. And that was just a non-negotiable. So most of the hotels have a gym. And if you're looking to book a hotel, you can find one with a gym. So maybe start making that a non-negotiable for you. And then if for whatever reason that can't happen, then, like you said, bring bands, pack some things along. We bought some bands just for that purpose. We take a TRX with us, and that's a great way to be able to
And
get
that
it
new
on.
X3 should be here any minute. Now, Amazon delivers in 40 minutes.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so, but I think planning ahead for the travel, just making sure that that's a piece of it, because that's big in many of our lives as entrepreneurs, having to go to that next meeting. And what else?
I think another excuse is when you fall off the wagon. You get sick or something happens that you have a week where you just didn't have those consistent workouts. And this is where many people will stop. They will have something that happens. Maybe a child is sick, and so they're having to be home with the child. So there's a work catastrophe, a work crisis that you have to deal with, and you're working just a ton of extra hours. There's things that happen, life happens. So to get rid of that excuse, just realize in advance that there's going to be times and seasons in your life where there's going to be a week that you don't get those workouts in. And what you need to do is just pick yourself back up and realize that that happens. But the rest of the month, you're going to get right back on that fitness machine.
Yeah, and I think it's okay to say, you know what, I don't have time today for my workout. Go do something for 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Right.
Just look at it as, okay, I don't have time for much today, but I'm going to go do some push-ups. And that's it. And that's okay.
Right.
Or I can walk on the treadmill for a few minutes. That's it. That's okay. Whatever it might be, just to get the action and keep it going. But yeah, you're going to miss it. I mean, there are days you just can't get it done. It's hard.
And you have to accept that's going to happen, that's going to be a part of it.
Right.
So another excuse can be that your job and the type of job that you have just doesn't condone the type of workouts that you need to have in the fitness. And to that excuse, I would say that, well, we're talking to entrepreneurs here. So the thing is, you're an entrepreneur and you can decide how your schedule needs to be. So if you're a writer like I am, I'm doing videos like this where you're sitting a lot, there are lots of fitness hacks that you can put in place as a regular part of your day that's helping you get that movement in. So we bought stand-up desks. We bought a walking treadmill so that we can be walking while we're having meetings. Typically, we have a team meeting every week, and you've probably seen us, we're doing walking meetings with our team as we're planning out the week. So if you're thoughtful about it, you can make this happen. And you know what? If you're hanging around people that are like you, that care about their health, which is another thing that I think is important, and we'll get to that, is that you'll be able to just put these things in place as part of your regular life. So you're not creating this new thing. You're making fitness part of your routine that you already have. So if you have several meetings throughout the day, if you have Zoom calls, I mean, we have colleagues that are taking hikes while on the Zoom call. They are walking on the treadmills while on the Zoom call. So you can do this. You need to just get creative and decide how you're going to do this.
Right. That's good. And I think that's important.
Yeah. And then the travel piece too is the other day, I mean, we were just traveling a couple of days ago, and I took the heavy suitcases and I lugged them up the stairs rather than taking the escalator. So just even incorporating that, you're running through the airport, don't take the elevator, don't even take the escalator, take the stairs, and just getting more movement, lifting throughout your day and getting things like that going on.
And I like to, while we're standing there waiting for boarding the plane, my backpack weighs 47 pounds.
Right.
I do squats with my backpack on and calf lifts and different things that everybody probably thinks I'm a little strange, but for the most part, nobody notices. And it's easy to get 100 little squats in. So you can do it if you just try.
Well, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, right?
Jim Rohn, right?
Right, exactly.
So if you are hanging out with people that, we've surrounded ourselves with a group right now that we're in a challenge, and that's a lot of fun. There's 50 people, 60 people holding each other accountable. Maybe you need to find a new friend. I have a friend or 2 friends actually, that we text pretty much every day saying, did you work out today? Did you work out today? Did you move the dial? And it's just those constant, well, if I say no, that stinks. I don't want to do that. So I always go and finish it up if I have to. Or the best part is I go do 2. I have one in the morning and I do it at night and say, yeah, twice. How about you?
Great. So make the commitment. This year is going to be the year that you are going to be committed to scheduling fitness in your calendar, and you're going to get rid of those excuses. You're going to name what those excuses are now and make a plan so that that doesn't happen to you again. And you're going to create this sustainable habit in your life that you're going to be doing fitness every day.
And if you like this one on fitness, we have one right here on health that will talk more about your nutrition. Check it out.